right. Fun, right? More fraction bars. Who's excited? All right. We're going to do a little bit together because this is kind of a new unit, so we're just getting started. So Mrs. Hagen will help a little bit more than she maybe normally does, okay? All right, here we go. Divide the fraction bar into unit fractions. I'm reading right here. Shade each fraction bar to show the fraction, and then write the sum of the unit fractions under the shaded parts. All right, now that sounds confusing, but it's not, okay? So bear with me here. So we are going to look at our first one, which is 1/4. We know that the bottom number is the total parts. The top number is the shaded. So we're going to be shading one part, but before we do that, we need to look at our bottom number and we need to make 4 equal parts in the bar. Now the easiest way to do that is because 4 is an even number, I'm going to divide it right in the middle as much as I can. Everybody just do their best. And now I have, oh, Mrs. Higgins is a little off there. And then I'm going to make each section into 2 parts. So I'm going to draw a line again in the middle. Okay, we're just doing our best. Fractions are always equal parts. So now I go, well, now I have to shade. Well, how many parts do I shade? Well, my shaded number is on the top, isn't it? So I'm going to be shading 1 part, just like that. You don't have to do it all pretty with colors. You can just do your pencil, okay? So always remember that your top number, I'm going to write it up here, is your shaded, okay? And the bottom number, just going to abbreviate there, bottom number is total parts, okay? All right, let's look at the next one. First thing I want to do is say, how many parts do I need to have? I'm going to look at that bottom number and go, ooh, I have to make that bar into 6 parts. And then I look at the top number and I realize that I have to shade 2 of them, okay? So first step is to make our parts. So since there's 6, I'm going to once again divide it in the middle because I know I'm going to have 3 on one side and 3 on the other, okay? So I need to make 3 parts on each side now, so I'm going to carefully just draw the same amount. And notice mine aren't perfect, okay? No big deal. All right, we're doing the best that we can. We're making 6 parts that are fairly equal, okay? And now I look at my top number to see how many I get to shade, okay? My top number is 2, so 1, 2. Just like that, okay? You can use colors if you want. I want to leave the next one there for you, okay? Because I want you to do one by yourself. I'm seeing that there's an 8 on the bottom, so once again, I would start by dividing it in the middle and then making 4 parts on each side. I want you to do that on your own, okay? Let's look down at number 4. So we're going to be dividing. We did a little bit of this already on the first lesson where we kind of did some looping, remember? So we're going to divide the number line into the correct unit fraction and then label each point. Show the target fraction by looping the unit fractions. All right, so let's look at our first one. Number 4 is 1/3 or 1/3. So I know that I need to have 3 parts, but I'm going to be showing my parts by dots because this is a number line, okay? So we're going to make dots. So we need to make that whole line. We need to have 3 sections. So you kind of have to, and you want them to be fairly equal, okay? So they look pretty equal. I have 3 parts. And then because my top number is a 1, I'm going to need to loop over from 0 to 1. And by loop, that's what they mean, okay? And if you want to do it, in my book, they kind of do it on the bottom as well, but then they want us to label the parts. We did this in our first lesson. So this first one is 0/3, and then this one is 1/3, and then 2/3, and then 3 over 3. And I think I said this in the last lesson, but whenever you have the same number over the same number, that's the same as 1 whole. Do you see the 1 there? That's the same as 1 whole. All right, I think you guys will be okay with those because that is a little bit review, right? I just noticed something on the section up above that we forgot to do, okay? They just want you to write the fraction underneath, so we didn't do that. So let's go ahead and just say this is 1 part over 4, okay? And this is 1 part over 6. And we have to put a little plus sign because we're adding those together. And this is 1 part over 6. So if I add them together, I would get 2 over 6, which is the number that's right there, correct? All right, so don't forget to do that labeling part, okay? All right, I think that looks good. Number 5, you know what we'll do is we're going to put our dots together. We'll do our dots together in case that's hard for you. So on number 5, I look at the bottom number and I need to have 4 spots or 4 spaces. Okay, so I'm going to do that thing where I go right in the middle again, okay? And then I know that I can divide the 2 parts that I have left in half, okay? So I've got my dot. The dot part might be the hardest part for you, okay? And then I need to label my parts. The first part is 0 over 4, then 1 over 4, then 2 over 4, then 3 over 4, and then 4 over 4, okay? And I'm going to leave the looping for you. You need to look at your top number, which is a 3, and then you need to loop to get to 3 over 4, okay? When you get to number 6, we can do these dots together for the bottom. I'm going to go right in the middle because I need 6 parts. So if I go right in the middle, I can have 3 spots on each side. So I'm going to go dot. See, that's 1, 2, 3, and do the same thing over here. And then I have my spots, okay, my dots on the line. And then you start to label again, right? I have 0 over 6, and I'm not going to do any more because I want you to do it on your own, okay? Label and loop. Got it? All right, so pause if you need to, and then meet me on the back page. All right, here we are on the back. So let's look at our directions. Make a proof drawing. We are not doing that. We are just going to subtract and show your ungroupings. So show how you borrow, okay? Let's draw a line in between, and let's read number 1. Chloe's class has 293 raffle tickets to sell. By the end of the first week, they sold 88 tickets. How many tickets does the class have left to sell? So I'm starting with something and then I'm taking away, okay? And they already told us up in the directions that it was subtraction. So I'm going to neatly write my problem, putting the bigger number on top. And I am ready to subtract, okay? I know right away I cannot take 3 from 8. I need to go next door and borrow. Make sure you do that. All right, let's read number 2. The clown has 465 souvenirs to sell for the circus. By the end of the day, he has sold 274. How many souvenirs does the clown have left? All right, subtract. I put my big number on top. 465, lining up my numbers because we're so good at that. 4. And then you're ready to subtract. Also make sure that you're remembering to put your labels in. A couple people are forgetting that. So you're looking for the word after many. Don't forget your labels. And then we've got this section here. We're going to add or subtract. And this next section is what we did in the first lesson. Okay? This is where we divided into equal parts, which they already did. And then we label the parts underneath on the line. So we say each one of these is 1 over 5. Who remembers this from the last thing we did? It was on our other page. And there's 5 of them, so you need to do it 5 times. Okay, and that's all we do underneath there. And then it says shade 3 parts. Okay, so do your shading for 3 parts. And when you shade 3 parts, then you need to write down here, you know, you're only going to write 3 of them now because you're only shading 3, right? And then you're going to put an equal sign at the end and put how much that equals. Okay, how many parts over 5. Okay, stretch your thinking. Write a word problem to match the shaded fraction bar. Yep, you can try that one. That would be fun to see what people could come up with for that. Okay, so have a super day. I hope this is okay. I know we had to do a little bit more together, but that's okay. So do your best.